Hello, I am Jake Schindler, and today I would like to talk about how divorce affects kids. According to the American Psychology Association, 40 to 50% of married couples in the United States are divorced. I think this is really high, though I know it is hard to stick with the same person for your entire life. And with children, it can be stressful or even scary in some cases. And sometimes people just do stupid things that can cause divorce. And I would like to raise awareness on how divorce affects children. I am a product of divorce. When I was small, I don't remember that much, but what I do remember is that my parents weren't getting back together, and I had this thing called cussy schedule. It lasted till I'm 18, and holidays were the hardest because they were split, and I had to go between two houses. But as I got older, I grew more used to it, and I started not to be as hard. Now I'd like to talk about talking to kids about divorce. You want to use a quiet space to talk about, don't play the blame game, make sure your message is clear and simple, and you want to say it something down these lines. We have decided we cannot live together anymore. This was not an easy decision, but it was important to make. We both love you very, very much, and the decision to separate has nothing to do with you. Now I'm going to talk about the challenges of divorce. The 5 main characteristics of divorce are parental conflicts, differing parenting styles, the involvement of the biological father, the money impact, the consideration of prospective mental health of children. The parental conflict. Parental conflict can cause depression, suicide, anxiety, and anger in some cases. Another thing is, you all know, being in the middle of an argument, sometimes you have to choose to make a side. So if 2 parents are arguing over which one, once in a while the children have to pick a side, which is not good for the child because that can increase stress and anxiety. Differing parenting styles. For example, at one of my houses I am allowed to use electronic, and at one of my other houses I am not. It does get confusing going between 2 houses because at one house I'm used to using electronic and at the other I'm not. And sometimes I forget that I'm not allowed to use my electronics at one house and I get in trouble. In some cases, the child can get more distant from one parent than the other. The involvement of the biological father. Studies have shown that there's a less chance of the biological father than the mother. And boys are more at risk of being affected by divorce than girls are in some studies. And this is not true for my case though, so I was lucky. The cost of divorce. A contested divorce can cost $15,000 to $30,000. From the child's perspective, it can be scary, confusing, and frustrating. And going between 2 houses, you can lose a lot of things. Because I know from a personal experience between 2 houses, I lost a lot of things going between 2 houses. Now I'd like to talk about the positive aspects of divorce. When I was researching, I did not find very many positive aspects on divorce, but I did find a few. In some cases, there are abusive parents, and divorce can be good because that child can get away from that abuse in that stressful situation and hopefully have a better life. And this was not part of my situation either. In some cases, the child can get exposed to 2 things. For example, my mother lives in the city and my father lives in the country. So I get exposed to 2 of the best worlds. If you're to take away anything from this talk, it is that divorce is a choice, and you have to work together for the benefit of the child. Thank you.